Yeah, everybody welcome here in Munich at the Night of the Jumps. We're gonna having the official press conference for this year's edition of the Freestyle of Nations. Next to me we have two riders which will participate tomorrow. Next to me is Harry Bink, Australian rider, and we have Marc Pinyol from Spain. So yeah, we start now with some questions, and after that we have some fans who sent some question over Facebook and social medias. Welcome guys, nice to have you here. I start with Harry because Harry is the first time at the Night of the Jumps. Harry, what do you think about Night of the Jumps?
Yeah, wow. I've been watching Night of Jumps for years, and I always wondered if I was ever going to get the call up to come here. And then to actually be here, sitting here, being in Europe, I'm stoked. I'm so pumped. It is a dream. It has been a dream to come here. So to be here out of Australia in Europe, it's a dream come true, and I can't wait to ride tomorrow and throw down with everyone.
Actually, it's the first time at the Night of the Jumps. What the Australian guys are thinking about the series?
Yeah, well, it looks nuts over here. The crowd looks crazy. Everyone's cheering. All the riders are throwing down. The talent's really high. There's a really good lineup of riders. So nothing but jealousy, I think, is what we're seeing and thinking. You guys are filling stadiums and doing the biggest tricks on the dirt bike. So it's awesome to see, and yeah, really pumped to be a part of it.
Yeah, sounds great. And do you have something special for your run tomorrow?
Special? I don't really. I think I am pretty special, so I'll just I'm gonna be special. Yeah, I think just all around. I'm gonna try and just ride it the best I can at the best of my ability, and just throw it all down for you guys. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Of course, I have to ask a question about Nitro World Games, where you throw down the triple flip, which we of course cannot throw over here because it's indoor arena and the hay is way too small for do it. But how was it to winning Nitro World Games with the triple flip?
Yeah, wow, that was wild. Doing the triple was always a dream. It was always like a thing that I wanted to do, but to be able to pull it off was it was gnarly. It was scary. Lots of pressure. I had to really use my brain for it a lot. I modified a lot of things on my dirt bike to do so. I did a lot of stuff like training within myself, a lot of mental training. It was just everything to come together. We made the ramp very tall. Steve and I were chatting about the ramp sizes, and yeah, we would definitely hit the roof if we were to do it in this stadium. But I think there's what it taught me was there's a lot of room to grow freestyle motocross. There's a lot of room for progression, and I think that it opened up a big door of what's capable of on a dirt bike, and I'm not stopping there. I still have a lot more plans and things that I want to be learning and doing on a dirt bike. So I think it just opened a new door of opportunities and possibilities.
As you mentioned, you have some more in mind. I've seen a front flip over the regular ramp, or the next gen ramp.
I learned. I started trying front flips off the next gen ramp a month ago. Started doing front flips. You just get to the top of the jump and grab both your brakes and throw your head over the handlebars and just try just to get the bike spinning. It feels really unnatural. It's scary. But I've been working on them. They're scary. I haven't done one yet though.
Night of the Jumps here in Munich, we have this Freestyle of Nation format. So it's you're doing your run for your team. You are in the team world together with French Brice Izou and with German Luke Ackermann. Yes. The guy you usually compete against. Yeah. So what do you think about this team format?
Yeah, it's very new to me. I've never competed in freestyle motocross before in teams, but it's cool. I'm pumped. It's awesome. Luke Ackermann, legend of a guy, works so hard. he's an animal on a dirt bike. I feel like we're both like kind of pretty similar in some ways, in our mentality and whatnot. So I'm pumped as far as being with Luke and doing stuff with him. I think it's really cool, and I'm looking forward to hanging out with him. And yeah, the whole team thing, it's cool. It's new.
Let's start with Marc. Marc, you've been already competing in Berlin Night of the Jumps. That's a season opener, and yeah, you did some crazy tricks, but one you crashed.
Yeah, I didn't finish as I planned. I crashed it on the double up with the Cali roll. Was my ambition for this year, to get back into my high level after COVID years out of the high level, after my hand injury also, that was kind of complicated to get it back. And I was planning to do the Cali roll there, and my practice was all good, but I got so nervous, I was so excited that I pulled so hard, and yeah, then I crashed. But I've been practicing pretty hard this last month, and I think I'm ready to give another opportunity and get my reduction back.
I've seen you practice some Cali rolls in Leida at the foam pit. So now it's working good out?
Yeah, it's actually the last 20 Cali rolls that I made, I just missed one, and was the Berlin. So I hope that it doesn't happen again.
Dani Torres isn't here, unfortunately. So you have a totally new team member.
Yeah, we got Abraham. Abraham was like a nice projection, a good projection in Spain. Was a good rider who was throwing like some good tricks. He was practicing with Dani back in days. He's pretty excited for Night of the Jumps. I was practicing with him and Michael like 1 week ago at Michael's place, and he wants to give his best. So I hope he does some surprise for us. Let's see.
I mean, with Michael, the world champ, you have a pretty solid team. What are your ambitions for Munich?
Oh, for sure. When we were talking with Michael last week, it's like, okay, we need to go for win. We need to try to win. But you put Harry and Luke together in a team, will not be easy to beat them. Like, they got probably the most crazy tricks here in the business, and they rode so good. They are riding so good. But this is also give us motivation. Like, we don't need to do mistakes. We need to give our best, and let's try to win if like this we can, for sure.
And which contest you will take part? You're going to ride Synchro and Best Whip?
I think I will ride all of them, like always. Yeah, Synchro for sure. We will do with Michael. Best Whip also. Let's see if Michael is in for the best trick or if he wants to share. It depends, but yeah, usually I do almost all of them, so I think here going to be the same.
A couple more questions to Harry. Have you ever been to Europe before?
Yes, I have, on a Nitro Circus tour about 5 years ago.
Okay.
Don't ask me which parts because I can't remember.
And what do you think about Munich?
It's cold. I only flew in yesterday, so flew in, went straight to the hotel, and I've found a gym this morning. I went to McFit. I had a good session there this morning, flushed out my body a little bit after that long flight. I'm yet to find out and visit more of Munich. I asked, when Steve was booking my flights, I asked him to leave me here for a week. So I think I'm going to go snowboarding and try and check out a bit of the place and hang out with the locals.
What are your plans for this season?
I've been training a lot more than I usually do on my dirt bike at home, just because I haven't had any events on. So I was like, this is going to go two ways here. I can party and carry on like a pork chop, like a child, or I can ride and perfect my career. I'm 29 now, so I thought I'd grow up a bit. So I've been putting a little bit more work into my riding. I don't have a great deal of events, hence I've kind of come here and really want to spark up the relationship and work on coming over here a lot more and being a part of the events, meeting all the people here and hanging out with everyone. That's my goal, that's my vision. I have X Games in Japan in May, start of May, as well as X Games in America if they announce it. Other than that, I have a pretty quiet year. I don't have any tours planned or anything like that. So yeah, I'm trying to focus more on the competition stuff and tap into more of that stuff this year.
Okay, sounds good. And yeah, we also have some more Night of the Jumps, so maybe if it works out, We're gonna see you some.
I'm leaving all my motorbike parts here, so it's a bit more guaranteed for me, a little bit cheaper on the plane flights.
Okay, so we got some question over social media. That's why I wanted. We passed it to the fans and wanted to give them the opportunity to direct some questions direct to your guys. One question was, have you been feared doing the triple flip?
Not any more fear than any other thing I do on my dirt bike. Anything obviously I always have fear. I get scared doing gnarly, bigger tricks, but I break it down, and I think just jumping a dirt bike over 75 foot is really dangerous. You can die at any time if you have the right accident. So that's a risk that we have to take every time we put on our motorbike helmets. So I go, every time I put on my motorbike helmet, I go in with the appreciation of that risk. And then when I'm trying new tricks, I just try and break down the fear, and I always flip my thoughts. So I get very scared, but then I calm myself down, I break down the thoughts of it, and I believe in myself, and I trust what I'm doing. And then once I actually did the triple, I actually had a lot of fun, and I want to do them more. But it's hard because it takes a lot of time, a lot of focus with your training to be able to do it. So it's hard, and the right equipment as well, the right setup, everything. So it's hard. But if there's events, and if Night Jump throws in a triple flip ramp, I'll put my hand up. So yeah, I want to do more triple flips for sure. Yeah, I had fun doing it. It was fun.
One guy asked what injuries you already had in your career.
Yeah, okay. All right, get ready. I shattered my right heel when I was 18. I got 20 screws re-embracing it. I snapped my right tib and fib at the same time. A year later, 3 months later, after I got back on the bike, I snapped my left tib and fib, and then I got a rod put in that leg. A year after that, I snapped my right tib and fib again. Then I snapped my right femur. I got a rod put in that. I broke my right thumb and wrist pretty bad and got plates in both of them. I broke my left hand also pretty good. I dislocated my shoulder 38 times before getting a reconstruction. I got my dream Nitro Circus contract tour dates and everything, and I didn't want to say no, but my shoulder was wrecked, so I just kept riding with a really bad shoulder and would continuously dislocate it. I broke my ribs last year at X Games, and then I re-broke them again, and then I re-broke them again. So that sucked, breaking my ribs 3 times as well as tearing a lot of cartilage in my back. I still, today, I get really bad knots and kinks in my back. So I got to be really aware and continuously release all the muscles in my back because I just have a lot of scar tissue there still. And then I'm forgetting something, but I think that's it. I've had some really good concussions as well, ones that have lasted up to 2 months, where I've been grumpy and angry at everyone, and I couldn't figure out why. And then I realized, and then now that I'm past it all and I've recovered, I realized it was a head injury I had. I've had 4 good concussions, but 16 in total.
We had another one who asked about, do you have snakes in your foam pit?
Yes, unfortunately, yes. There's lots of foam pits. That's why I've got a big airbag, so I don't have to deal with the snakes. We actually used a foam pit a month ago at home on the Gold Coast, Australia, where I live, for anyone that doesn't know. And there was 2 big snake skins on top of the foam, and I went in the foam pit and pulled the skins out, and they were big brown snakes, king brown snakes. And anyone that doesn't know what a brown snake is, it's a snake that will kill you, and one of the most poisonous snakes in the world. So to find 2 big poisonous snakes, usually we find pythons in there, and then we just pull them out because they're not poisonous, they're pretty harmless, unless they choke you out. But yeah, there's lots of snakes in our foam pit. There's lots in there. But when we start the generator that operates the crane on the foam pit, they all slither to the bottom of the foam pit. So I'll start the generator, leave it running for 10 minutes before we use it, and then I feel pretty safe. And the goal is to not land on your head. If you land on your head, I get pretty scared in there because I know there's snakes on the bottom. You land in there, the motorbike's on your head, the petrol's dripping on you from the bike, and then the engine is on the foam and it's creating toxic fumes. So you can't breathe, you're trapped, and you're like, oh, there's no snakes down here. And then you're just waiting for your mates to pull you out. So yeah, I'd rather land on my head on that big airbag now. Big airbag anytime.
Okay. One girl wanted to know, how did you came to freestyle motocross?
Oh, that's a good question. I always wanted to do it. I love Travis Pastrana. I never thought I'd meet him. He was my idol. Like, you know, some people like are religious and they believe in God. Like, I believed in Travis Pastrana. I was just obsessed with him. And then I never actually started freestyle motocross until I turned 17. I got a real job being a carpenter. And I was like, man, if I did a full week of work, and I was like, if I put this much work into my riding, I probably could have made it happen by now. I lived in the excuse of not having access to a freestyle ramp. So then I started to build a freestyle ramp when I was doing my carpentry apprenticeship. It took me about a month to build. I got the plans off Google. I built it with some friends at my friend's farm. He let me use his farm. And then I just rode every day for like 6 months. And then I learned enough tricks to do a show. And then I went into doing shows. I got offered a job at Movie World when I was 18, and then I moved to the Gold Coast and just started doing freestyle motocross, and then I never looked back.
Even the same one. How did you came to freestyle motocross?
Kind of the same about the obsession with Travis Pastrana. I was the same. I remember I was doing motocross. I was a really good jumper, also like a supercross. I was good in the air. And I remember that one day we were watching the Red Bull X Fighters, but in the cinema. They were doing in the cinema, and I said to my dad, I want to do that someday. Back in 2008, it was a really big crisis in Spain, and my dad just got fired, so we cannot continue the motocross races. So he had to sell everything, but he made all the possible things to keep one bike. And with that bike, I start with Antonio Navas, another guy down there in Lleida. It's one of my best friends, of my partners. He was already a freestyle rider. And he got all the stuff already there, and when I was 17 I started, and it have been right now 13 years that I'm doing freestyle motocross, and I hope also that now with the airbags we can make it long and long.
Yeah, that was also a question from one of the fans. Usually it was always on dirt at Night of the Jumps, but now it's, of course, because also of the timings we have in the arena, we do not have 2 days for build the track. But what do you think? What's better to ride, dirt or airbags?
I really love the airbags. I think it allows you the opportunity to go big without getting that much focus about this is gonna hurt if I crash, and the people are gonna see some tricks that probably we will not throw it on dirt. I still think some competitions maybe have to be like on dirt. If Fixed Fighters is coming back or X Games, I think also these competitions needs to be on dirt. But with the time, I really love more and more the airbags in competition because you also can make it kind of hard. You don't need to be like a foam pit. They are also dangerous. For example, Kai the other day got injured also in an airbag, and being an airbag doesn't mean you cannot be injured. It's just less possibility to get injured.
One fan asked about your compound in Leida. What do you have there, and how many years do you have the park already now? Yeah,
luckily we got the biggest compound in Europe and one of the biggest in the world also. We started in 2008 with just one ramp and one landing, and right now we got foam pit, airbags. We want to set up the airbag now. We got more than 24 ramps, like the third gear ramp. double line, so we really got a really good compound. And the good thing about our compound is like it's next to Barcelona, so we got the airport really close, and we got the border of France also super close. So all the riders in Europe at winter time, they come to practice in our park, because in Europe there is raining, snow and all this, and everybody's coming down, so it's always good vibe, it's always good weather. We are pushing between us to go big, and at winter time it's my favorite place to be. It's my park. On the other hand, this winter time I got 18 people at my home, so to take showers was a kind of a mess.
Some fans ask how they could start, or what you guys would suggest how they can start with freestyle motocross. Can people come to your place and do some training sessions?
Yeah. Basically, we look at them. We see if they got enough skills, like they can hold the jump, like it's not dangerous to jump. We got like little a small track that when we see if they can control the bike and all this, and we can put the bike the ramp super close. It's like an uphill, so it's like 3 meters far, and then slowly you just push the ramp, and sooner or later you're going to jump like the normal distance, like the show distance. And this is how we started actually also. Like I started at 14 meters because I was coming also from motocross and all this, and with the 85, and then I just put it till 22, and now I'm here.
Okay, that has been the Night of the Jumps press conference for Munich. We're gonna have a tough competition tomorrow, and hope to see you guys all tomorrow in the arena.